all seek it.
Must be destroyed.
If you do not find a way, no one will.
And now you can own it. When The Lord of the Rings comes home on VHS and DVD.
Hi, welcome back to Not Your Mother's Hobbies. We're continuing our paint-through series of the Fellowship of the Ring with our next member and Gimli's number 2, Legolas. This Minnie's got a pretty decent pose, alright look for little Legolas. I do like the Three Hunters version better, but this one is not too bad for what we got going on. So looking forward to painting this one up, as well as add some flourishes here and there to get that old sculpt kind of up to date and looking a little more fresh. Showing you once again how we can use the paint to add detail. Alright, we're starting things off with Militarum Green. This is going to be our nice foresty green for his tunic and all of the main body of his clothes. So we got his tunic up top, as well as I think he's got a shawl on. And we're going to start all of those with this kind of woodsy green, even though we're going to do some little tricks later to change its color. So here, blocking all of this in, all of his tunic going all around. And again, remember to get his sleeves and his shoulder armor kind of thing that slings in the back. Garagak Sewer, we're going to use this for his leather armor pieces. We're going to have a darker kind of leather look to his armor to help better separate it from some of the other leathers he's going to have going on. So those are like his vambraces, his boots. While for his scabbard, his quiver, and the other belts and buckles and leathers he's got going on, we're going to use snakebite leather instead. So go all around with this one and get the rest of his leather accoutrement all blocked in. When it comes to those belts, just take your time and really go in there and get the edges lined up. No need to rush this part, as his little belts might be a little finicky and fiddly on such a small miniature. These are not as heroic scale as we're used to with our last couple projects. Spaceballs Gray, we're going to use this for his blue pantaloons, I guess. They're kind of like jeans, but not jeans, so we're just putting that in there for that. Pilar Glacier for his white and a bluey undershirt. And that's just his elbows on both arms, as well as a little bit on this his left hand. He's got a little bit poking out under that vambrace. Skeleton Horde, we're going to use this for his bow. Again, just to differentiate between those browns we got going on his costume. He's got a lot of earth colors, earthy tones, and we want to make sure that they're all separated and accounted for. We're also going to use this on his hair to sort of block in his blonde locks. I'm not going for an extreme cartoony yellow blonde like I might on some other ones. I wanted to keep him a little more realistic. Then of course he's got a pale skin tone, so we're using Guilliman flesh as our base. The hands, the face, there's not a lot of skin showing, so pretty easy on this guy. Our last little detail here is some Agrax Earthshade on the arrow fletchings in the back. You can do whatever color you want for those. I chose this for a more simple and kind of more realistic look. Alright, starting up our layering, I'm using Auric Flesh here. This is going to smooth out any tide marks or any of the detail that got smudgy on that Militarum Green, as well as become our first highlight, as it can brighten up his tunic a little bit more than the Militarum Green can get. So just go around and smooth that out, and maybe add a layer or two extra for some nicer highlights. Retributor Armor, it's my favorite gold, putting this all around on all the gold blitz, just spotting them, spying them, and putting that all around. He's got some decals on the quiver, on his bow, etc. So hunt those parts down and get those gilded up. Using Wraithbone here, a little bit of dry brush on that bow, just to give it some texture and break it up and not have it look so plain. Also using this on the leather parts of his boots and his vambraces, his armor, I guess you'd say, so his leather armor, just to get a little bit of that detail popping up. We will tone it down a little later. If it's too bright for yourself, you can always pop some Agrax Earthshade on there and tone it down. I believe I did, and I'll show you that later if it's in the video. Future me, is it there? I don't know. And then I'm using Wraithbone as well, dotting around some details like the fletching and whatnot. Reikland Flesh Shade Gloss. This doesn't exist, so just use a Flesh Shade, go over that gold, blend it in, and then gloss it up after with a gloss varnish. Just brush it on, and that'll make it bright and shiny. Cadian Flesh Tone, bringing up our first of the fleshy highlights. Go around his nose, his forehead, just getting all those areas smoothed and highlighted. Kislev Flesh followed up for some additional highlighting. And don't forget his little pointy ears, some little extra details in there. Keep an eye out, some of them are hidden. Now to push all those details further with some extra touches. We've got Pallid Witch Flesh here for my favorite skin highlight finishing touch. Just getting those little extra bits of the cheeks and the nose and the knuckles to really make those areas stand out. Feel like getting that shiny skin, whether it's dark skin or light skin. A shiny extra bright spot really helps make it all stand out. Chrome, as always, for any of our metallics, even our golds, just going around and dotting in some nice little details and accents and shiny pings and whatnot, just making it look extra bright. Agrax Earthshade, this is where we're going to differentiate the two little bits of his tunic, I guess the extra armor bits, like the shawl on his shoulders and this chest piece he has. So we're going to go around and tint that with Agrax Earthshade. If one coat is not enough to differentiate it for you, feel free to add a second coat. I did, myself. Wraithbone, going in here and putting that in for our first of the L'Oreal highlights on his hair. Just going in and picking out where that sun would shine and ribbon off of his locks. And following it up with bold titanium white to just get that extra hotness in those hair highlights. Use your thinnest brush, be patient, and hey, if it doesn't look that great, just go back in with your contrast paint and it'll just cover it right over and you're back to base. So don't sweat it, don't worry about it. We're also going to use that bold titanium white to start painting in some designs and details on his armor. I got this little tip from Swords and Brushes. Go check him out. He's coming back with some videos, but he's done some videos on Lord of the Rings. And one tip he had for these old sculpts was going in and adding some of these extra designs and details. With some quick searching online, you can find Legolas's costume from the films and see what these designs are and add some little lines that vaguely represent it the best you can. As long as it vaguely looks like the thing you're referencing, nobody's going to look twice. And as always, we base this with Basilicanum, a dry brush, and our black rim. And there you have it. Legolas the Ranger, the Elven Prince. Looking pretty dang good. I really like what that pattern, that design, just that simple little white squiggle adds to this model. I think it really it makes the simplified sculpt stand out. We've got a couple more like that with the rest of the figures in the line, so it bears repeating. Big thanks to Swords and Brushes for that tip and technique. I think that's advice that you can take on many miniatures that you're doing, whether it has official art, official costumes, or just something that you're pulling inspiration from. Get some pictures of some designs if you have a simple sculpt or a flat area, something you want to add some detail to. Get that reference and paint in some extra detail yourself. Thanks to everybody who watches. Like and subscribe if you haven't. As always, big ups to the patrons. Your support is very much appreciated, and I hope you'd enjoyed some of the behind-the-scenes posts and pics I've been doing on the Discord. Let me know in the comments down below what you're thinking of the Fellowship series so far. That's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!